Going over the key learning points for the module on convention reasons, we've learnt that the persecution needs to be for a convention reason, but it only needs to be a partial cause. There could be other motivations also in play, as long as the convention reason is one of those reasons for the persecution. We've also learned that one or more of the convention reasons can be in play. It doesn't need to be just one, it doesn't need to be several, it can be one or more, and that the convention reason can be imputed or attributed by the persecutor. It doesn't need to be a characteristic that's actually genuinely held by the victim. It's just got to be thought to be held by the perpetrator. Going through the 5 convention reasons themselves, they are very broadly defined under the Qualification Directive. So race, for example, includes colour, descent, membership of a particular ethnic group, and examples in previous refugee claims might include Roma in Eastern Europe or Beduins in Kuwait. Religion is very broadly defined and includes the holding of both theistic and non-theistic and atheistic beliefs, participation in and abstention from formal worship in public or in private. It can be either alone in community, alone or in community with others, and it can also include other religious acts or expressions of view or forms of personal or communal conduct based on or mandated by any religious belief. Essentially, it's impossible to imagine a broader definition of religion for this purpose. Examples might include Ahmadis in Pakistan. There have been many successful claims by Ahmadis from Pakistan, or Baha'is from Iran. But religion is to be very broadly understood is the key takeaway there. Nationality is one of the 5 conventional reasons. It's very rare to encounter it in practice though, but that is also very broadly defined. Having to think of hypothetical examples rather than actual ones, but for example the disintegration of the former Yugoslavia led to different groupings that might be characterised as racial but might alternatively be characterised as based on nationality. Political opinion is the convention reason most people associate with refugee status, and under the Qualification Directive, again, it's very broadly defined, and it's certainly not limited to expressions of view about state power or the exercise of state power. The qualification says that it includes the holding of an opinion, thought or belief on a matter relating to the potential actors of persecution, and to their policies or methods, whether or not that opinion, thought or belief has been acted upon. So conventional political activists and political party members would certainly fall within that, but so would, for example, single-issue campaigners or feminists or environmental campaigners. So again, very broad definition. The most challenging of the convention reasons to understand is membership of a particular social group, and there's been a lot of law seeking to explore and explain what this convention reason means. One of the basic principles is that it's important not to define it too broadly so as to make the other convention reasons redundant. So for example, the particular social group can't be defined solely by the persecution suffered, because if that were the case then there would be no need for the other convention reasons. A person who suffered persecution would automatically be a refugee. We know that we know a few things about what a membership of a particular social group is not. So it doesn't have, the group doesn't have to be homogenous, it doesn't have to be cohesive, it also doesn't have to be a small group. We also know that not all members of the group have to be persecuted in order for it to be a particular social group. And then some positive qualities that we know it should be. There's got to be some sort of innate characteristic or background that cannot be changed, that is common to the people in the group, or they've got to share a characteristic or a belief that is so fundamental to identity or conscience that they shouldn't be forced to renounce it. Now, we know also about a particular social group that the country context and therefore the country information is very important, and that a group that is a social group, particular social group in one country will not necessarily be one in another. So past examples have included women in certain societies where there is institutionalised discrimination, or gay men and women in some societies for the same reason, or victims of FGM. Those are 3 common examples of particular social groups. Trafficking victims would be another.